You don't have a strategy problem. You study the charts, you know the indicators, you watch YouTube videos, and yet you still freeze when price goes against you. You still hesitate to cut losses. You still make money and then give it all back. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most traders never hear. If technical analysis was the solution, 70% of traders wouldn't be losing. In my 5 years as a trader, I've traded different accounts, different strategy. And today, I'm not here to teach you how to trade. I'm here to show you how you are thinking while you trade. Because that's what actually keeps you stuck. By the end of this video, you will understand why your brain is quietly sabotaging your trading decisions, especially under pressure. You'll stop trying to predict markets, stop looking for the perfect setup, and stop blaming indicators for results they were never designed to control. You'll learn how professional traders think about fear, randomness, and loss. And that's why accepting uncertainty in this moment, your consistency begins. This won't make trading easier, it will finally make it simpler. And that's where real profitability starts. Trading is not necessarily a technical problem, but it's a human problem. And this means that the reason you are not profitable is not because your strategy is dumb or you haven't learned enough. You probably watched a lot of YouTube videos or you probably bought a lot of courses, but somehow you are not profitable. It is largely due to your person as a human being. How well are you able to adapt to the nature of the market? And that's all the point. Most of the time, you hear this very wrong advice that says, find a strategy that suits you as a person. But it does not stop there. Trading as a profitable trader is you on the market meeting at a point. Meaning, yes, you can find a strategy that suits you, but in the same vein, you have to learn to adapt to how the market actually works. You don't just wait for the market to miraculously show up for you. The market does not favor anyone better. The profitable trader you admire simply learned to adapt to the way the market works, which in reality will look like moving with the flow of the market, as opposed rather to forcing things to work out. The thing is that fear is one of the major killers as traders. It is one thing that works against us. And this is how it shows up most times in trading. You take a trade and say you lose. Fear begins to consume you with the thought of losing your entire account, your entire deposit. And also, you begin to fear that your strategy is wrong. You begin to doubt yourself and doubt the strategy. That thought, rather, that fear puts in the mind of traders is one of the reasons why most traders are not profitable. Think about it. You are in front of the chart and you see a setup, and let's say it follows your strategy, but then you do not take the trade, you hesitate. Now, that hesitation is because of the thought that you can lose that money, and that is fear. Or say you take the trade and then you lose. The reason you cannot calmly follow up with the next strategy because you are wagering on the fact that since the previous trade was a loss, this will automatically become a loss. And that is why you hesitate on taking the next trade or you revenge trade. You fear so much about losing your account. You want to force your way into financial freedom. You want to force your way into recovery. You want to recover the account really fast. And that is already the beginning of the end for you as a trader. Most traders think that they are going to automatically be 100% right at some point in trading. They doubt they are set up because there are still losses showing up at random times. But the reality is that there is no right prediction for trading. Even your edge, your strategy that gives you, let's say, a 70% win rate, is only as profitable because of you, the individual. Meaning, if you take that strategy and you give it to someone else, it probably won't work for that person if the person hasn't trained himself to think and act and behave like a profitable trader. And this is another evidence of it. If you've ever found yourself in any signal group where people are profitable, but it seems like you are not part of them, you are shaky, you are inconsistent with what you risk a little too much. You find out that although the strategy might be making people profitable in that channel or in that group, you yourself are not in the same profitable path as them because the human factor makes up 95% of profitability in trading. The human factor makes up 95% of being profitable in trading. There's no doubt about that. And this also elaborates on the fact that there is no perfection in trading. I like to discuss with my friends a few times whenever we're talking about trading And I tell him, anything you do when you're in front of the chart, in as much as after 100 trades, after 500 trades, after 1,000 trades, your account size grows 50%, 20%, 300%, whatever, you are already a profitable trader. The only thing you can do moving forward is journal. Journal allows you filter out what is making you lose and doubling down on what actually makes you win. It allows you filter them out with facts, not assumptions, not emotions, with written down data. So you should understand that there is no place for perfection in the market. There's no perfection because as an individual yourself, you are not controlling the market. You are just a piece of over hundreds of millions of people putting their money into this market. And there is a randomness in character, in behavior, in thought pattern. So you are not in control of the market. You are just a tiny bit of what actually moves the market. I mean, you as an individual makes no significant impact as compared to the other millions of people on the other side of you. Lastly, as a professional trader, you should be able to comprehend randomness. And what does that mean? If I take a coin and my goal is to get head, if I take a coin and my goal is to get head, if I flip it the first time, I'll most likely get a head. Flip it 10 times according to mathematics. The odds are that half the time I will get head and half the time I will get tail. Now, we know this. Now, just take this coin as an example as I'm explaining it. Mathematics says that if you flip a coin 100 times, half the time you get head, half the time you get tail. We know that based on mathematics. That 50% of the time you get heads, assuming heads are winners and tails are losers, it means your win rate is 50%. The coin has a win rate of 50%. But the coin does not know in what order that trade is going to come. It does not know if the first flip is going to be a head. It doesn't know if it's going to get head, 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 tail, 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 or it's going to get head, tail, head, tail, or it's going to get head, tail, tail, head, head, tail, head. It doesn't know the order. It only knows that after 100, after a large data is collected, at least 50% will be heads and 50% will be tail. And that is the randomness you should be able to comprehend as a trader. And you can only fully accept this randomness if your strategy is data proven. By data proven, I mean you've analyzed the strategy, you've backtested it several times, 100 times, 500 times, 1,000 times if possible. And then data says, oh, out of 1,000 trades, you win 70%. And out of this 1,000 trades, if you started with $100, this is where you will be. Data puts this in fact. And if you do not treat your strategy based on data, then there's sentimental attachment to how you trade and you're already setting yourself up for failure. Now, I believe with this video, we've been able to open your eyes to what actually makes you a profitable trader. And if you'd like to get more psychology insights like this, do well to give me a subscribe. Peace.